All right. So we'd like to have a quick review of what we discussed last time. This topic is all about data classes and data structures, and it's important to know the different types of data, the types or classes that we can use in R. We said last time that a data can be numeric, like this one, 12.6, or ito 12, pareho numeric yan. And then it can be an integer, and in R, an integer is denoted with an L. Yari ito 2L, that's an integer. It can be a character. Yung character, kailangan may quotes. It can be logical. So you type either true or false, or pwedeng T or F. Wala si false. So pare-parehong true or false yan. Okay. Walang quotes, so that distinguishes it from the character na may quotes siya. So logical data type. It can be complex. If you recall in your algebra, my imaginary number. And then it can be a date. Now we're going to set a session. We're going to discuss date in greater detail kasi importante ito. No? Okay, so here we have some examples. I'm sorry if what I sent you might not be the same as this kasi I think yung na-send ko is the original one. Ito yata, this is what we have discussed in class. So I kept on typing, so nadadagdagan. But just follow along, guys. Anyway, may recording kayo nito. At saka, pwede nyo ma-i-insert yung code na yan. Okay, so we said, guys, that in order to print the output, okay, first, we create an object. And we said that objects have names. Nari si 1, may pangalan tayong binigay sa kanya na A. And names can only be, there are rules in naming objects, and we did that last time, so I hope you still remember that. So what's the use of putting parentheses here in this line of code? It is to automatically print your code. Okay, automatically mag-print yung code na yan. Let's run this. Go to this line, Control Enter. Kasi pag rinan nyo itong chunk na to, guys, lahat ng codes na dito. So what happened now? Okay, let me delete this muna, okay? And let me remove. Okay, this is the code to remove all objects. Para pareho tayo. RM, remove. The list is equal to okay. So because I have objects here, so hindi tayo pareho siguro. Dinelete ko to. Okay, so nawala na yung mga objects natin. So nawala na siya, no? So ito yung code nun, RN, remove. List is equal to LS. Kasi yung LS, this will give us what objects are in our global environment. So let's create this object A. We said that putting it in parentheses automatically prints the object. So here, we have an object A and the value is 1. And then, by putting the parent into it, guys, ano nangyari? Na-print na kagad, no? Na-print kagad. Na-print kagad yung value. Okay. What's the class of object A? The class of object A is, alam natin na numeric yan. 1 is numeric. If we create another object called B, okay, 3L, again, nag-print yan. Print na si B. And then we already have this object in our environment. Okay, so may B na tayo. And it's 3. Ano ibig sabihin ng L, guys? What's the meaning of L? Pag if we put L to a number, what does that indicate?
Integer function.
Correct. Thank you. That's an integer. No? So when we check, indeed, it's an integer. By the way, hindi pa natin na-check to. No? Type A, si A. Ang class niya, numeric, ang type niya, double. So there are some data types that yung para may leveling sila. Yung class yung higher level. Yung type of a lower level. Kasi si integer, si numeric, guys, may ibang klaseng type pa. Double is decimal. Okay, so si ano naman, si integer, whether we use class or type of, iisa lang siya, no? Integer lang. So ibig sabihin si integer guys as a data type, wala siyang sub-classification. Whether class or type, pareho lang siyang integer. Okay, how about this complex number? We create this object called C. Sabay-sabay na natin. Control Enter. Okay, so these are the answers. So we have generated this object called C, and it's here, no? Nasa object natin, global environment, 3 plus 2i, and the class and type of is the same, complex siya. Okay, then we have the word false. Let's check the type of and the class. Okay. Pareho, type of, tsaka class, it's the same as logical. Okay. So ito guys, we'll skip this, no? Kasi ito, 2020-10-28, when we run this, okay, 1982. Bakit? Kasi hindi naman to binasa as a date. Ginawa niyang 2020 minus 10 minus 28. So when we check the class of this, which is an operation, numeric siya. Okay? Pag ganito guys, March 5, 2021, okay, nag-error siya. No? So kahit na ito isulat natin, okay. It looks like hindi siya tinanggap as a date kasi ginawa niyang 3 divided by 5 divided by 2021. Okay, and again guys, we'll have a separate discussion for dates because dates are a very special type of data. Okay, any questions so far, guys? Okay, chat nga kung may question. Wala? Okay. Sabihin nyo guys kung kung medyo mabilis yung discussion ko kasi review na lang to, no? Okay, how about data structures? Data structures guys, collection ng mga data yan. Okay? So there are different types of data structure, pwedeng vector siya, pwedeng list, matrices, arrays, factors, data frames. Ang mas gagamitin natin dito yung data frames. Okay? So we're going to discuss what are vectors, list, matrices, and we're going to make use of these functions. Okay, class of, na-meet na natin to. Yung mode parang pareho lang yan ng class. No? Names, length, we're going to meet this as we go along. Okay, so first type of data structure, sabi natin, is our vectors. Vector, it's a basic data structure in R. And what's distinguishing about it is that it only consists of one type of data. So kung mga logical lang yan lahat, logical lang siya lahat. No? Integer lang lahat, double lahat, etc. So pare-pareho yung yung elements. So let's come up with an example. Let's have numeric vector. No? Pag numeric vector, lahat ng elements vector. So here we're creating an object called A1 and it's equal to 5. So run natin to. Sabi natin automatically print niya by virtue of the parentheses. Kung hindi natin linagyan ng parentheses guys, ita-type mo pa A1 or print A1. Okay, then let's create another object called nums. It consists of 1.13 and negative 5.7. Let's run this. Okay, so print na niya 1.13 and negative 5.7. Ano class ni nums? At saka anong type of nums? Obviously, ang class nito is class na numeric. Di ba pag numeric may subclass siya? Double means may decimal. Okay? So clear tayo guys sa class. Yung ibang classes guys, kunwari integer, logical, okay, wala silang character, wala silang mga subclassification. No? Kaya ang class at saka type of pareho lang dun sa either integer or character or complex, etc. Okay, now let's learn how to generate random numbers. Itong command na to guys, itong code na to, rnorm. So let's ask R what this is. You can either use question mark rnorm or help rnorm. So let's use, you'll generate the same output, help rnorm. So lalabas siya dito sa console lagi pag nagko-code tayo dito sa source, lalabas yung code sa console. Okay, and then ito yung lumabas. No? Under help siya, so it's the normal distribution. Okay, there are different types. We have D norm, P norm, Q norm. Okay, so but we'll just focus on R norm now. So ang syntax nito, N refers to the number of observations. No? Sabi N. So kung ilan yung i-generate natin, ilagay mo N. Ang default niya, ang mean is equal to 0 and standard deviation is equal to 1. Okay, ibig sabihin, pag hindi tayo naglagay nito ng 0 or 1, automatically yan, i-assume ni R na 0 or 1, 0 and 1 yung mean and standard deviation respectively. Okay, so let's do this. Mag-set.seed tayo. Remember guys, pag nag-R norm tayo, we'll have different answers. Sige nga, let's try that just to illustrate that. Mag-insert tayo ng chunk. So let's say R norm 10. Okay, hindi ako maglalagay ng mean or standard deviation, which means the default here is that default is mean is equal to 0 and standard deviation is equal to 1. Okay, so let's run this. So mag-insert tayo ng code, R norm, 10 lang, no? Tapos hindi natin define si mean at saka si standard deviation. R will read that to mean mean is equal to 0 and standard deviation is equal to 1. Let's run this. Okay. Do we have the same values?
No, sure.
No, we have different values, no? How do we have, what if we want to have same values? We can use the set.seed. Okay, so this is some function natin, set.seed. Okay, so let's create an object called devs. Okay, let me remove this first para clear sa atin. Devs. So, ang function natin R norm. This will generate 100 random numbers. Okay, if we run this together with set.seed, we will have the same random numbers. Again, the mean is 0 and the standard deviation is 1. That's the default. Pareho lang ang magiging result, guys. If type natin mean is equal to 0, SD is equal to 1. It will be the same. No? Since net.seed natin equal to 100. Okay, so let's run this too. Tapos naglagay tayo kanina ng 1. Okay, sumabay yata ako. So a while ago, naglagay tayo ng round, no? Round. This will decrease the decimal places. So yung una, gawin natin 3 decimal places. Okay, so magge-generate to ng random numbers. Sabi natin, paki-round siya sa 3 decimal places. Tama ba yung ano ko? Try nga natin. Okay, nag-error ako. Round devs. Devs muna. Close ko to. Surround. Mali pa rin.
Sir, sobra po kayo ng parenthesis before devs.
Okay, sorry. O nga pala, no? Oo, tama. 1, 2, 1, 2. Thank you. So let's run this, set.seed, control enter. Yan. Do we have the same numbers, guys? Do you have the same random numbers? Guys, pare-pareho tayo. Paki-chat, please. Same numbers?
Opo, sir, pareho.
Okay. Yung iba, nakakasunod ba iba, guys? Please tell me if you're able to follow. If you have questions, please feel free to ask questions. Okay, how about this view devs? Ano ginagawa nito? Pag nag-view devs tayo, mag-create siya ng isang spreadsheet dito sa tab natin dito. And we're going to see everything. No? Kasi lalo na guys, kung malaki yung sample size natin, hindi magkakasya dito yun. Dito sa screen dito. No? So we can do this, view devs. Okay, so what happens is that there is this, okay, this window now where you have the values of devs, 100 entries siya. Okay. Aside from devs, dagdagan lang natin guys, if you want only the first 6 values, so we can use the head function. Okay, ang default nito, pag head, then yung object natin devs, 6. Okay, 6 ang ilalagay niya. If you want the first 10, comma, 10. Okay, it will generate the first 10 elements of our object, si devs. Anong type guys si devs? Anong klaseng data structure to? What type of data structure is this? It's a, yun si devs guys. Anong klaseng data structure to? It's a, hello guys? It's a, anong klaseng data structure? Di ba? Ano yung mga klaseng data structure natin?
Numeric.
It can be a vector. Yes, it's a numeric vector. Vector siya. No? Vector siya kasi pare-pareho yung mga numeric. One type lang. Kasi may ibang klaseng structures. Diba? Ang tinatanong ko, what kind of structure is this? It's a vector and it's a numeric vector. Okay, clear yun guys? Pa-confirm na lang guys kung clear. Voice out na lang or chat, please.
Clear po, sir.
Okay, yung iba, I'm not getting feedback from the others. 1 or 2 voices lang naririnig ko.
Clear, sir.
Okay. So, kung pwede lang guys, kasi I need some confirmation on your end. Either mag-chat kayo kung hindi na gumagana yung mic nyo, kung may question ako, so that I know you're there. Clear ba? Paki-chat na lang kung clear o hindi. Kasi 1 or 2 voices
Clear,
lang yung lagi naririnig ko. Yung iba, chat naman, please. Wala pa rin. Tatatlo lang yung sumagot. Okay, so on the other hand, we can use tails. Yung tails naman, yung last, again, yung default nito 6 digits. No? Yung 6 elements ng tails. Oops, sorry. Where is that? Not tails, sorry. Tail, devs. Okay, so these are the last 6 elements ng ng vector natin, numeric vector. Okay. We know that when we wrote this code, when we run this code, ang mean niya 0 at saka standard deviation 1. Check lang na natin, guys. Okay, so the mean is practically 0 and the standard deviation is almost 1 na rin. No? So, yung summary function, sabi natin, yung 6-number summary yan, minimum, maximum, first quartile, second quartile, which is your median, third quartile, and also the average. So, yan, i-generate sa atin ni summary. Okay, again, kung nalalakihan kayo dito, no, pwede nyo natin i-round to. Round, open parentheses. Kunyari, gusto nyo ng 2 decimal places. Okay, you can use that. Okay, run. And then 2 decimal places lang ibibigay niya. Then we can plot also the histogram. Okay, so histogram to ng devs and mukha naman siya normally distributed, no? Mukhang mas fat tails lang dito sa left side kaysa dito sa right side. Okay, now I'd like to illustrate what if we increase the sample size. Okay, let's see what happens. Chunk of R, then ulitin na lang natin to. Control C, Control V. Oops, hindi siya pumasok sa backtick. And then R. Okay, that's how you write your chunk. No? Backtick 3, ang ending yan, another backtick here. napunta siya dito. Delete ko to. Okay. So, baguhin natin set.seed 111 para pare-pareho tayo. And let's increase this 100. Let's make it 100,000. But we will not generate the output, ha, guys, kasi pag i-generate yung output, matagal yan. And let's mean 0 pa rin, standard deviation 1. Okay. So let's run this. Oops, sandali. Set.seed muna pala, sorry. Set.seed 111. And then our random number, 100,000. No? So 100,000 yan. Para makita natin, view devs. Ay, mali. Na-delete guys yung devs, no? Napatungan na. Napatungan na siya. So wala na yung devs kanina guys. I should have used devs 1. Anyway, I should have used guys devs 1 para na-preserve pa rin natin yung devs kanina. So nabura na yung nabura na yung unang devs natin, wala na siya dito. So our new devs is now a large numeric 1,000 elements. Okay. Okay. So let's just continue with this. Kunin natin yung head. So dapat pare-pareho tayo guys, 0.3235. And then the tail, this is just a repeat of what we were doing a while ago. I just like to get the mean. Anong mean itong devs, yung bagong devs natin? So it's practically 0 pa rin, no? And standard deviation, is practically 1. Mas malapit to. Ibig sabihin, when we increase the sample size to a big amount, talagang mas lumapit sila dun sa sa mean is equal to 0 and standard deviation is equal to 1. Okay? And then let's run the histogram of this. If you take a look at the histogram, mas normally distributed siya. So nawala yung fat tails dito sa left side. Okay? So because of the big sample size. Okay, any questions with this one, guys?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you.
None.
Okay, thank you. Iba paki-chat kung may question o wala so far.
None, sir.
No questions, Pastor.
Okay, thank you.
None,
Alright.
sir.
Okay, salamat. Okay, so far guys, we learned how to set a seed so that if we run random numbers, pare-pareho tayo. We learned how to make use of the rnorm function. Pwede tayong mag-create ng, so here, okay, nagawa na natin to, no? So let's not do this. Sige, i-run na lang natin to. No? Okay, run na natin chunk. Class, so isa na lang kasi numeric siya, di ba? Type of, double to. Kasi mga decimal places. Length, ilan yung length? So this is 100,000 kasi yung length will measure ilan yung size ng sample. Mode is just also like classification, so numeric din siya. Parang similar siya sa class. Structure, okay, so it's a numeric vector 1 to 100,000. And ito lang binigyan examples yung first elements. No? So yung head at saka head 10, huwag na natin patitil. Okay, so repeat lang ito na nasa taas. Okay, here let's create another object, devs1 tayo. Set.seed, gawin natin 2,000. Okay, dito, i-specify natin yung mean is 90 and standard deviation is equal to 5. So let's run this. Actually, pwede natin i-run lahat, no? Let's run this chunk. Run. Okay. So, kasi nag-view tayo, so naglabas siya ng devs1, 1,000 elements there. Okay. So what are the output? Click natin to. Lumabas ba yung view, yung mean asan? Hindi natin makita yung mean. Yeah, should be here. Dapat na-generate yun kasi rin na natin yung buong chunk eh. So the mean is 89.98. Diba? We set the mean to be 90, so it's practically 90. Then you have the standard deviation, which we set to be 5. So the sample that we got, our norm, gave us a standard deviation of approximately 5. Tapos ito yung summary natin. And then the histogram natin, ito. Okay. Kita natin, no? So practically normally distributed talaga. 100,000 with the mean equal to 90. You can see this, guys, in the middle. That's the average, 90. And the standard deviation of 5. Okay, let's continue, guys. Okay, here let's create an object called G, and it's we're combining the elements 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Dito naman, guys, G1, and ang difference niya, 1 colon 10. Okay, so meron tayong operator na colon dito, 1 up to 10. Okay, let's first run G. So yun, 1 to 10, no? Okay, si G1 to 10. Si G1, guys, ganun din, no? Parehong elements lang siya. So, saan sa nagkakaiba? So, let's run this line, class G and class G1. Okay, ang difference sila, guys, itong define natin by the concatenator, combine function, numeric siya. Itong colon, 1 to 10, turns out to be integer. Okay, so if we run this, yung type of natin, okay. So type of natin, double to. Kahit na wala siyang decimal place, guys, double pa rin yan. Kasi this could be 9.0. This could assume decimal places. Ito naman, yung type of ni G1, that's still integer. And then yung length, alam natin na it will be 10. Okay? So these are just later on, guys, later on ko na-explain to kasi mga sites to na pwede tayong kumuha ng data. All right. So anything clear, guys, with the numeric vector? Any questions in numeric vector? Remember, a vector is a collection of values. Isang ano lang, guys, isang collection. Isang collection lang. So either lahat sila numeric, and that's called a numeric vector. Pag lahat sila, guys, pag lahat sila integer, so integer vector yun. So here we're creating an object called K, and then it's a combination of 1L, 2L. So kahit na ginamit natin yung C dito, pero may nakalagay kasi na L, which means integer siya. So run natin lahat to, and you'll get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Kasi may L siya na descriptor dyan, ibig sabihin nun, i-cocaers ni Aryan as integer, and then true enough yung class ng integer and type of integer pa rin. Kasi sabi nga natin, walang lower pag integer, yung class at saka type of pareho pa lang din. Pareho lang din. Okay, let's create another object called M. And M is a combination of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We know that what type of data is this, guys? What type of data structure? Without running this. Without running this, ano to, guys? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So vector siya, di ba? Anong klaseng vector? What kind of vector is this?
Numerical.
Numerical. Okay. Correct. Numerical siya. Okay, so run natin. Control Enter. You're correct. Numeric siya. No type of double. Okay. Now, sabi natin si M, guys, si M, diba? M is already existing. So paano natin malalaman na may M? Hindi dito yan, no? Sa mga objects. It's numerical, 1 to 5. Ang element siya, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Can we coerce or can we convert M into integer? So tingnan natin, no? So here we're creating an object called N, and then Ang function yan as that integer, then m. So we're telling R, kindly convert m, which is numeric, into an integer. So let's see. If we run this, tapos umokay siya, ibig sabihin, pwede yung, yan. Okay, tinan nyo. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So nag-run yung code na to. Yung as that integer, yung converting this numeric into integer, nag-run siya. Okay, but let's test, guys. Ano yung class ni n ngayon? So tama, guys. Integer siya. Okay, so si n, integer. Paano natin nakuha si n? Ginamit natin si m, kinonvert natin into an integer. And that process is called implicit coercion. Okay, so now may object tayo. Check natin dito sa environment natin. We have an object called n. Okay, can you see, guys? Yung n natin.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then it's an integer. Limang integer. Ang elements niya 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Okay, so let's continue. So there are so many questions. Yung converting a data type into another data type. For example, let's have this object called let. No? Si let, combination siya ng A, B, C, D, E. Now, without running, guys, anong klaseng ano to? Anong klaseng vector? Anong klaseng vector yan?
Sure, I forgot, pero I think logical ba yun?
Ang logical, true or false, no? Pero yan, may coach,
okay.
di ba? May coach siya. Remember?
Ay, character siya.
Character, yes. Thank you. That's correct. Character vector siya, no? And you know, they're characters kasi may mga coach siya, no? Si true or false, guys, you can type the whole word, capitalize lahat, or capital T or capital F lang. Hindi pa pwedeng small f. Mag-e-error yun. Okay, so let's run this. And then let's see the class and type of, yan. Tingnan nyo. Print niya si A, B, C, D, E. Yan yung may code siya, no? Class is character, type is character. Okay? So is it possible to create an object called let1, and then what's happening here? We are converting let to become an integer. So si let, which consists of character values A, B, C, D, E, pwede ba ma-convert yan into an integer? Let's try. Control Enter. Ano nangyari, guys? What happened?
Nag-error.
So conclusion, hindi pa pwede. Hindi pa pwede. Yung character, it cannot be converted as integer. Okay? So nag-NA siya dito, no? So there are some rules to coercion. Okay? I'd like you to discover this. I'd like you to research on that first. Briefly lang i-discuss ko. Tapos i-enhance nyo kasi mas maganda itong ano yung kayo mismo makadiscover, no? Okay. So ang sabi ko dito, a vector can only be composed of one data type. Kung numeric siya, numeric. Kung integer, integer lahat. Diba? So minsan, you might find a vector that has different types, no? Ang gagawin dyan, pwedeng gawin ni R dyan na i-coerce niya. Sabi dito, this means that you cannot have both a numeric and a character. If you attempt to do this, the lower ranking type will be coerced into the higher ranking type. Okay? The lower ranking type will be coerced into the higher ranking type. Okay, so ano ba yung mga ano ba yung ranking nila? So ano ibig sabihin nito, guys? Kanina, we were able to convert anong ginawa natin kanina? Saan tayo nag-convert? Diba si numeric, kinonvert natin into an integer, di ba? Ano pa? Ano yung kinonvert natin? Okay. Si numeric, ginawa natin integer. Sino pa? May isa pa tayo. And then we tried si character, ginawa natin integer. Right? You get it, guys? Okay, so may ano to, may 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 purpose tong ranking na to. So I'd like you to discover ano ibig sabihin tong yung mga arrow signs na yan, no? Okay, let me give an example. Let's create an object called W. And W is so without running, guys, anong klaseng ano to? Anong klaseng vector to? Without running this.
Integer.
Yes, integer kasi 0 to 6, no? Yung colon. If I run this, control enter. So may object na tayo dito na W. Ilalim. Okay. Integer siya, no? I hope you can see your environment pane. And kita din yan sa answer natin. Yan. Integer siya. And dito din sa console. Okay, let's create now another object class W1. Ito naman yung numeric natin kasi in-identify natin using C. Okay. Now, let's create an object here. Let's call it W2. W22. Okay. So we're creating an object called W22 and then we're coercing yung integer to become numeric. No? So class W22. Okay, so pwede ba na si integer, kasi si integer yung W, di ba? Pwede ba siya maging numeric? Pwede ba yan? So let's run. Okay, what happened? What happened? So na-convert natin si integer into numeric, no? Okay. Ito natin W22, yan. So ano yung class ni W22? Class W22 is now numeric na siya. So here, hindi natin convert. We were able to convert integer into numeric. Okay, how about this one? Medyo baguhin natin to. So may W pa ba tayo na object? So W is still existing, di ba? W is integer. Okay, what about ano yung next? W to. So hindi na natin kailangan yung code na to kasi andun pa si W, existing pa siya. So let's call this W33 na to, no? W33. Let's create an object called W33. What are we doing here, guys? What are we doing? Ito natin class. Okay, so para isang ano na lang, isang code na lang lahat. Okay, sorry shortcut natin. Open and close parentheses, open and close. So this code will already print the result for us. So tingnan natin, is it possible to convert, this should be W. So si W, i-convert natin into logical. Okay, ano answer guys? Pwede ba?
Yes.
Tingnan natin. Okay, yun. Ano nangyari, guys? So W, which is an integer, was converted into logical. So pwede. So tingnan nyo integer na convert into logical. Okay, so I hope, I'd like to explore the pattern. Si numeric, na-convert natin into, na-convert ba siya into character or ano nangyari kanina? Yung kanina natin dito. Can we convert character to integers? Pwede ba?
No.
Okay. Answer natin dito. Lagyan natin conclusion. Character. Data type can't be converted into integers. Okay. So kindly explore that yung relationship na yun, yung hierarchy. Okay, and then we'll I want you to explore that first and then isi-summarize natin sa next meeting. All right. So what's happening here, guys? Ito naman, may W pa naman. So tanggalin natin to. What are we doing here? Convert integer to character. Okay, let's call this W44 na tayo. W44 as character W. Remember, guys, si W is integer. So can we convert this integer into a character? And that's class W44. Okay, so let's run this. Okay, ano nangyari, guys? Were we able to convert integer into character?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes to, no? Okay, so please look at the pattern. No? Okay, next, how about this? This is converting integer, kasi W ginagamit natin, to complex. Let's see if this is possible. Pwede natin tanggalin to. And then let's create another object, W55. So as that complex, W55. We have to close this. Okay, so we're creating an object called W55, and then we'd like to coerce si integer na W into complex. Pwede ba to? Pwede, guys?
Yes.
Answer? Yes, pwede pa rin, no?
Yes.
Pwede siya. No? Okay. So,
Sir?
yes.
Question. So yung class function at the end of the line, it's just to confirm kung nagbago na po siya.
Yeah, tinatanong natin kasi una,
You're
itong
changing it po, diba, sir?
yung semicolon na yan, it means that there's another code.
Code, opo.
Okay, parang ano lang yan, parang next line lang yan.
So parang kino-confirm na kung gumana siya or hindi.
Oo, tinatanong natin kung existing ba yung
class.
kasi kung hindi existing yung W55, bali walang class kasi NA yung mga lalabas dito eh.
Yes, sir. Okay.
So
yes.
ito kasi ibig sabihin nito, if I just highlight this, no? Highlight ko lang to. Okay, ito lang rin niya. Okay, so ibig sabihin, okay yung pag-convert natin ng integer into complex. Okay, so sinama na natin yung code na to para malaman natin anong class na yung W55 na yan. And it turns out that indeed it's complex. Parang this will just validate kung na-convert na nga yung ano. No? Okay?
Yes po, sir.
Okay, thank you. All right. Now, dito we're creating an object. Nagkamali yata ako dito sa ano. Sandali, check ko lang yung ints. Dito. Let's check guys yung ints na ano na function. Wala. So mali yata yung ano ko ano. Let me try another one. Minsan hindi kaya ng ano ng so, meron. Thank you lang ha. So there's this function called ints. It's still running. Okay. Dito ko kunin ha. Ints. Kamali ba ako? Okay. Mukhang mali yung ano ko, no? Oh, it's int. Integration to eh. Hindi. No, it's not integration. Parang wala yata ano. Nagkamali yata ako ng Okay, mukhang wala guys, no? So sige. Kaya pala nilagay ito for clarification. Let me check this. I'm having a problem with with ints. Kung yan, hindi pa rin ito. Right. This is wrong. Error, no? Okay, let me clarify this, guys. I'm having an error here dito sa ints, no? Okay, so let's leave that for a while. Okay, sorry about this. Okay, now let's go to character vectors, guys. Okay, ano naman yung character vectors? Well, we know that vectors are just, it's a data structure where you have the same elements. No? So yung una dito ay, okay, ito magkakamali tayo dito, guys, kasi hindi naman characters to, kasi walang quotes, no? If we run this, okay, walang object daw na mon. Pero if we run this, guys, yun, meron siya. Pwede bang single quotes lang? Control C, Control V, run natin, let's call it I1. Let's just replace it by one quote. Oops. Sige, quote natin. Okay, sige, tingnan natin, guys, combination ng single at saka double quote. Okay, so pwede siya. No? Okay, pwedeng single quote or pwedeng double quote. It doesn't matter. No? R will read that as a character. And then let's check the type. So, sama natin si class. Class ni I, character, type of I, still character. Okay. And then length, we know that that's 5. 5. Okay. Clear sa character, guys? Okay, ito. How about this? C is 1. Dagdagan natin to, Dagdagan natin ng, pakidagdagan lang, guys, 2 plus 3i. So meron tayong, dagdagan pa natin. Gawin na lang natin tong ano to. Let's make this into an integer, a numeric, okay, a logical, a character, and a complex. No? Huwag na natin ilagay yung date na muna. Okay, is this possible? Remember, guys, na kapag vector, pare-pareho silang element. No? Control Enter. Okay, what happened, guys? What happened?
Naging character lahat.
Oo, tinanggap ni R. No? Tinanggap ni R siya. Kaso kino-urge niya. Kasi you're telling him, mag-create ka ng vector. And then, tinan nyo, no? Type of X, character siya. So this is what we call yung coercion natin kanina. So ang question ko sa inyo, paki-explore nyo, saan niya kino-coerce? Okay, mag-insert tayo dito ng isa pang ano. Insert R. Okay, let's copy this, Control C, Control V. Let's create an object called X1. Tanggalin natin, guys, si character. Okay, tinanggal natin si character. So, ang natira, integer, numeric, logical, at saka si complex. So, let's run this. Run both. Oh, ano nangyari, guys? Kino-urge niya lahat into a complex, no? So, does this look familiar now? Nung walang character, nung may character, dito niya kino-urge lahat. Nung may complex, nung walang character, may complex, dito niya kino-urge lahat. So that's a tip, guys. Anong ibig sabihin nito? No? Yung rule ng coercion. Okay. So, then you have logical vector, guys. True or false lang yan. So yung una, hindi pa pwede, guys, kasi notice hindi siya nakapula, no? Hindi nare-recognize ni R. Unless you put a quote there, paglagyan natin ng quotes yan, quote. Okay. Ano na to ngayon, guys? What is this now? What's this, guys?
Character, sir.
Character na to, no? Vector siya. Kanina walang coach, nag-false, nag-error tayo. Pero ito ngayon, kung meron na, pwede na, pero character siya. So let's create another object. Let's call it J1. Okay? Si J1, yan, false, true, false, etc. So type of J1, i-run natin to. Ito pa pwede na to, guys, no? Control Enter. So logical siya. Okay, because it consists of the values false, true. Pwede rin natin lagyan ng ng T at saka ng F. Babasahin din yan. Okay? Parang dito pa lang sa ilalim. Pwedeng pero run ulit natin to. Binasa pa rin niya. Yung nasa dulo na true at saka false, kinonvert niya into word na true or false. Ito din, guys, pwede. Pwede din yan. Okay? Alright, any questions so far, guys? Simple lang naman yung vectors. Sinasabi lang naman yan, pare-pareho sa lahat ng Tapos pag mag-create ka, tapos may hindi pareho, i-coerce niyan. Ang tanong, saan niya i-coerce? So yung hierarchy sa taas makakatulong yan. Pag may character yon, lahat yon i-coerce into character. Walang character, pero ang pinaka may complex, lahat i-convert niya into complex, etc. Okay. So here we're creating a, to guys? 1 to 10. Vector, ano ba to? Numeric or integer? Run natin. See? Now, take note, may C, pero may 1 to 10 dito. So, anong kakalabasin yan? It's still an integer. Kahit lagyan natin ng C, tapos 1 to 10, integer pa rin yan. In fact, yung concatenator dito, hindi na natin kailangan actually yan. Pwedeng ganyan na lang. Pwede na to. Okay? It's the same. So, parang baliwala yung C dito. Okay, so numbers, integer, type of integer. Okay, then we go here. Paano naman, guys? Use of identifying each data is treated as a numeric. So let's create an object called numbers. Numbers 1, consisting of 1 to 10. And we know that this is a numeric and then type of is double. Okay, so pamili na tayo dyan, So C1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this will give us a numeric vector. Ang type of yan is double. Okay. Then, take a look at this. Ano ba yung numbers natin? Okay, ito yung numbers natin, Yung numbers natin, integer. Tapos, tinan nyo to, guys. Numbers plus 2. Ano ba yung numbers? Okay, you can check the environment. Yan. That's numbers. Integer siya, no? 1 to 10. So what happens when we yung data, yung vector na numbers, dagdagan natin ng 2. Let's run this. Okay, so 1 to 10 yun, dinagdagan lang yan ng 2 bawat isa. Okay? So, pag i-check natin, guys, kung anong okay, let's create an object for this one. Let's call it Q1. Q1. Okay, and then class Q1. Para malaman natin, guys, kung anong class na to. So, yung kaninang ginawa natin, we just gave it a name, Q1, for us to get the class. Okay, so naging numeric na siya. Bakit? Si integer, guys, pag dinagdagan natin ng numeric, okay, naging numeric na siya. Okay, so for this one, let's call it Q2, alt minus. And then let's take class Q2. Let's run this. And then numeric din siya, no? Dapat bigyan ko ito ng parenthesis para i-print na. Hindi na kasi print. Control Enter. And print niya, guys. No? So, si square root of 10, numeric siya. Kasi, of course, square root of 10, that's numeric, that's double. No? Tapos yung vector ng integer na numbers plus yung vector ng numeric, pag ina dyan, guys. Okay. And then dapat lagyan natin ito ng pangalan para makuha natin class Q3. Let's call this Q3. And then let's get the class of this, class Q3. So what happens, guys, when we add a vector of integer plus a vector of numeric, we know that it will give us a numeric value. Okay? Any questions, guys? Any questions so far?
None, sir.
None, sir.
Thank you.
Answer.
Sir.
Okay, salamat. So we can, okay. So far, nakita natin pag-generate ng vector is yung either yung C, no? At saka yung colon. There's another way, and this is more powerful, the sequence function. Okay, kung titignan natin to, guys, question mark,
Sir,
sequence, yes?
yung sa Q1, 2, and 3, di po
Okay.
gumagana yung code ko. I'm not sure why.
Dito? Sige, naran mo na yung numbers?
Alin po, sir? Yung una, yung 1 to 10.
Oo, meron ka na nun, ha?
Na-run po.
I-check mo sa environment kung nag-i-exist yung numbers, ha? And then what we did here was, pwede namang tanggalin natin tong parenthesis dito. Tapos, dito mo siya ilagay. Okay, so Q1 is numbers plus 2.
Mhm.
And then class Q1, run this line. Sige, gawin mo. Okay, tinan mo what happened. Kasi see yung numbers, 1 to 10 yan. When you add 2, it will add 2 to each of the numbers. Kaya ang lumabas dito, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, hanggang 12. Lumabas ba sa output mo?
Oh, wait lang, sir. Hinahanap ko lang po yung, wala po kasi, I think I know the reason. Wala po akong numbers na code. May numbers 1, pero...
So meron tayo sa taas numbers. Baka hindi mo na-run to, no? Created this object numbers na concatenate siya na 1 to 10, pero naka-colon pa rin siya, kaya integer pa rin to, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. It will not run if the numbers object is not existing. So you can check that by...
Ayan, sir, gumana na po. Yung
Gumana na.
Q1,
Okay.
2, 3.
Good. Thank you for that question. No? I appreciate, guys, questions. I appreciate that kasi baka it's good to clarify immediately. Kunyari, sino yun? Sino yung nagtanong? Sorry, hindi ko pakabisado yung names.
Sir, ako po, D.
D.
Apo, sir.
D, thank you so much. I appreciate the question. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's move forward, guys. So sabi natin, pwede tayo mag-create ng vectors using the C, the combine or concatenate, also the colon. But more powerful, guys, is the sequence. Okay, so i-run natin tong sequence na to. Paki dito sa console, question mark sequence. And then, wala. Sandali sorry, may mali sa code. May mali yung code ko. I forgot to put the, kasi function yan eh. Ang hirap nito, Oh no. Tapos dito pa sa Zoom. Okay. Dito na nga natin i-run, guys. Okay. Ayan pala. Nag-run na. So ito, guys, it's from the base package. Pag sinabing base package, guys, yung function na to, it comes already when you download R and R Studio, R particularly. No? Ibig sabihin, wala tayong library na kailangan na i-install to get sequence. Kasi may mga packages na it can only run if you install that. May mga functions pala, sorry, which can only run if you install that a particular package. Okay, in our case, guys, tingnan nyo to, sequence base. Okay, it means it comes from the base R package. So hindi na magagamit natin to, no? Okay, so meron diyang sequence lang, guys. So you have to identify from what number to what number by what number. It will increase by what number. No? Pwede ring sequence dot integer, my sequence along, my sequence length. So there are different types of that. Ang titingnan lang natin, guys, yung sequence, yung basic lang. And I leave you to explore the others. Okay, so sige, no? Let's run sequence, no? From is equal to 1 to 3 by 0.2. So this will generate a number. Let's create an object for this. So let's call it V. V1 na lang. Okay, we're creating an object called V1 and it's a it's a vector of numbers from 1 up to 3 and it's increasing by 0.2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, let's run this, guys. Okay, so may V1 na tayo. Sa ilalim, just check it out, guys. And notice, guys, it was incrementing by 0.2. 1, 1.2, 1.3, etc., etc., etc. Okay? Nag-increase siya ng 0.2. Okay, you can also use, pwede rin, gamitin natin V2. Okay? You don't have to identify yung from at saka yung to. Default na yan, no? 1 to 5. Okay? Length that out 4. Ibig sabihin, ang 4 na elements ang ilalagay, no? Okay, this is also very powerful. So, kunyari gusto kong mag-generate siya ng equally spaced na numbers from 1 to 5. Okay, dapat 4 yung numbers na lalabas. Let's run this. Okay, tingnan nyo to, guys, no? 1, 2.33, 3.67, hanggang 5. So, equally spaced yan. So, R generated 4 numbers sa length that out from 1 to 5. Okay? Is this clear, guys? Again, naalala nyo yung round. Pwede tayo mag-round. Tapos, gawin lang natin dito 2. Yan. Ay, hindi. Sorry. Mali kasi dapat yung dito natin dito. V2 yung nasa labas. We're creating an object called V2. And then it consists of round 1, 2. Okay. Oh, saan muna ako nagkamali? Round sequence muna. Sarado. Then, nakasarado na si sequence. Si round. Dapat yung round nasa labas. Ito natin isasarado. Dito. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. So, kailangan guys, ina-analyze yung ano, no? yung arrangement ng mga parentheses. Otherwise, mag-error tayo. Okay, so here we were able to create an object called V2. It's a sequence from 1 to 5, 4 yung out, guys. And then, renowned natin into 2 decimal places. Ito guys, yung una, exact kasi. No? So what if it's not exact? Tingnan natin. No? Let's see this. Control C. Copy natin to. Let's call this V3. So sequence from 1 to, let's say, 1 to 4. No? 1 to 4. And then by say, by 0.33. Okay, what will happen to that? Enter natin. Okay, tingnan nyo guys, no? 1 to 4 by 0.33. So increase siya na increase by 0.33. When it reach 3.97, pag nag-add pa siya ng 0.33, lalampas na sa 4. So hindi na niya sinama yung end. Kasi 3.97 plus 0.33 will give us more than 4. Sabi natin hanggang 4 lang. Okay, guys? All right. So, lapit na yung time, no? Sana umabot tayo sa subsetting. Okay, so here we're creating an object called Q. Ang laman niya, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. Let's run this. I-print na yung Q din. Okay. Now, take a look at this, guys. Q brackets 2. Yung brackets niya, ginagamit yan sa subsetting. Ibig sabihin nito, it's the second, you just choose the second element of Q. Okay, so ano yung laman ng Q, guys? Negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0. And then I'm saying here, Q, yung second element, gawin mong 0. So I'm telling R now to replace negative 2 by 0. And then i-run ulit natin. No? Enter. Okay, what happened, guys? So dati kanina negative 2 to di ba? Pinalitan natin. So we did that by subsetting, yung brackets. And then 2 indicates that that's the second element. Clear, guys? Clear?
Yes, bro.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We can delete. How do we delete vectors, guys? How do we delete objects? 2 ways. Ito yung una, Q is equal to null. Okay, or yung isa, RM, or dito ko na nalagay. Dito na lang. Or comment for Q, RM, Q. Yan. Pareho lang yan, guys, no? RM, Q, or Q is to null. Ibig sabihin nan, we are deleting Q by assigning a null sign to it. Okay, so let's run this. So wala na. No? Andito pa ba si Q? Minsan ang hirap okay, where's Q now? Okay, take a look at this, guys. Q is still here, di ba? Empty nga lang siya, wala siyang laman. So anong difference nitong, so I want you to be clear on this, ha? Anong difference nito, yung kanina, no? Yung Q at saka yung, where's that? Ito. Anong difference nitong Q is equal to null? Dito, guys, the object still exists, no? Okay. But no element. Wala siyang laman, no? Pag in-RM nyo siya, this deletes the object itself. Okay? All right. And then, lastly, guys, kasi yung susunod, tama-tama structure, type na tayo 2. No? Let's create this object, days, vector, character vector. Okay, ito siya. So pag tinanong natin yung subsetting days, yung 1, ibig sabihin niya, yung first element, si Monday. Huh? Days 4, si Thursday. Days, bracket, C1, 3, 4. Ibig sabihin yung first, third, at saka fourth element, which is Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Yun lang yung i-generate na. Okay? Days 1 to 4, ibig sabihin, from the first up to the fourth. And lastly, guys, days negative 5, ibig sabihin lahat except yung 5th. Negative 5 there means do not include number 5. So this one and this one are the same. Days 1 to 4 and days negative 5 are the same. Enter. Okay. All right, very good. So